far, far away times, when people didn't know about the existence of electricity, when there was no clothing industry, when people didn't go to work but kept livestock and irrigated gardens in order to grow their own food, when candles burned in wooden houses in the evenings, and people tried to go to bed before darkness so as not to burn a candle once again, since there were very few of them. It was a peaceful and quiet time. But one day people began to notice that their cattle were disappearing at night. There were no extraneous sounds or noises. But in the morning there were not enough chickens or sheep. And the people raised a fuss. Everyone came to the chief guard who kept order in the village. Everyone started blaming each other and arguing about who was stealing their livestock. Then the guard proposed to put nets near the cattle pen and hang a bell from above. Whoever gets caught in the net, we will all hear and see the criminal, and we will punish him publicly. And so they did. The next day, everyone set up nets in front of their cattle pens and hung a bell. That same night, a bell rang sharply in one of the houses. The noise woke the owner of this house and all the other neighbors from his screams. Everyone ran to punish the thief. They grabbed the net and dragged it to the guard. While it was being dragged, all the villagers were horrified. In the twilight, under the luminous torches, they saw a creature the size of a large dog, covered with rough skin like a crocodile, but at the same time having pointed ends like a spiked shield. People were frightened. Panicking, they all began to shout, "Fire him! Burn him!" They immediately lit a fire, threw more wood and branches. Meanwhile, the animal, making strange sounds, tried to escape from the nets, but people threw so many of them on it that it was almost impossible to unravel. And when the fire had already flared up well, people threw this creature into it. Sparks flew, burning sticks. The creature tried to escape and growled terribly. Fire engulfed this creature, and the nets in which they became entangled caught fire. Suddenly, in the fire, people saw how it began to glow. Like hot metal, its pointed ends of the skin rise very sharply, with such force that it completely tore all the nets and the creature rushed to run. And everyone ran after him. Someone had a sword, someone just had a stick, everyone was armed with something. But since the ends of the creature's hot skin glowed in the dark, it was easy to see where it was heading. Everyone rushed after it to destroy it once and for all. This creature ran to the foot of the mountain, and people saw how it entered a small cave. When everyone ran to the cave, no one dared to enter it. Then they decided to wall up this cave so that no one else would ever come out of there. And they began to carry stones. Until morning, they carried stones, cobblestones, both small and large. And so, when the deed was done, they decided to have a feast. They played and had fun. They celebrated their victory. Days passed, years passed, the world developed in its own way. Everyone had already forgotten about this creature, but the shaman in the village felt that something negative was accumulating at the foot of the mountain. Since this creature strangely originated in the bowels of the earth and fed on its energy and the negative emotions of people. In the same cave, it also ate only the negative energy of living beings, including people. All bad thoughts and bad deeds fed this being. The more people became in the world, the more bad thoughts and actions began to appear, which fed this terrible creature filled with rage, anger, and bad energy. Several centuries have passed since the incident, and this creature has accumulated enough strength to escape. And then, one day, on a full moon, it smashed the barricade and burst out, spreading a terrible scream throughout the area. Animals living in the forest, intuitively sensing the danger, rushed to run further. Even the birds dozing in the forest flew higher and began to fly away from the foot of the mountain. Since that time, villagers began to disappear. Everything that this creature visited was destroyed. Nothing could stop it. There were terrible rumors about a creature that single-handedly destroyed villages. Everyone was scared. The hunters followed it into the forest but never returned. But one shaman from a city felt that something terrible had burst into the light, and he decided to gather a council of great shamans. Carriages were sent to every surviving village for a shaman or someone with sort of clairvoyant gift. There were 12 mystics who also felt that something terrible was happening. They didn't know how to solve this problem alone. And so, having gathered around the fire, they began to conduct the ceremony. They drew a large circle on the ground. A fire burned in the center. Along the line of a circle, each of the shamans drew his own protective symbol, and from it, a line to the fire. Standing each on their own symbol, they began to chant their mantra. And at that moment, when each shaman entered a trance, they all immediately lost consciousness and woke up only at dawn, in the morning. And they began to tell each other that they saw knowledge. It turned out that they all saw the same thing. All these shamans had the same vision. They saw dry land cracked by drought, almost without life. The scorching sun and a strong mystical wind that carried away everything that it picked up. They saw how a bad thought, picked up by the wind, immediately spread and wreaked havoc in its path. But they also saw how a good thought, picked up by the wind, sought beautiful forests, greened the path where beautiful flowers appeared and a wonderful scent spread everywhere. In the morning, everyone knew what to do. Having gathered all people in the area, they understood how to control this creature. That the creature feeds on what we saw within ourselves. We do evil, it grows. We do good, it weakens. Do each other more good. Help each other wholeheartedly. Be more united and kinder, and then the creature will weaken and disappear from this world. After this meeting, everyone drew conclusions. But no one has seen him since.